Okay, so what if I told you this? A huge Hollywood star, right, well into his 60s, driving what looks like a Formula One car, hitting nearly 180 miles per hour. And not on some closed movie set, but actually during real Grand Prix weekends, alongside Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, the real deal. Sounds completely made up, doesn't it? Like pure Hollywood magic.
Well, believe it or not, it's actually true. 100% true. So today, we're going to dive deep and unpack the, frankly, mind-blowing facts behind how they pulled this off, how they just sort of blurred fiction and reality.
Yeah, it's really something else. And it's not just, clever CGI or fancy effects. What's really remarkable here, I think, is how they managed this fusion. Hollywood meeting the actual real-world, high-stakes arena of elite motorsport.
Yeah.
The whole point, the mission, was to get a level of authenticity that, well, no racing films ever really tried before. Pushing boundaries, redefining what live action even means in this context. Right, and that authenticity, it starts with maybe the craziest fact of all. They filmed scenes live during actual F1 race weekends. We're talking Silverstone, Spa, Monza, even Suzuka and that glitzy Las Vegas track. The fictional team, Apex GP, they had a real garage, a real pit wall presence during official F1 sessions. But okay, they were there, but who was actually driving these incredibly fast cars?
Well, that's where the commitment to realism really kicks in and involves our lead actor quite directly. It's pretty amazing, actually. Brad Pitt himself. At 61, he personally drove one of these cars. Now, technically, it was a modified Formula 2 car designed to look just like an F1 machine, but he was hitting speeds close to 180 miles per hour. And just so we're clear, F2 cars, still incredibly fast, powerful open-wheel racers, just, a step below F1. They took 6 of these F2 cars, redesigned them meticulously. Why? To get real physics, real on-track action, not just digital stuff. And there was zero CGI for his driving sequences. None. Lewis Hamilton, who's an executive producer, actually had to approve Pitt's driving skills first.
Wow, okay, Hamilton gave him the thumbs up. That's serious commitment. So it wasn't just a look-alike car warming up the tires. It was genuine driving skill involved. Did that authenticity, that realism, go beyond just Pitt and the cars? Were, like, actual F1 people involved, too?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, totally. To really sell the immersion, the film is packed with actual F1 personnel. You'll spot all the 2023 drivers, Hamilton, Verstappen, Alonso, Leclerc. The whole grid is in there. Plus, you've got real team bosses appearing, too, like Toto Wolff from Mercedes, Christian Horner from Red Bull. It just makes the whole fictional world feel incredibly grounded in the real paddock.
That integration must have led to some properly strange moments, almost surreal, right? I heard Pitt had a kind of funny story about feeling a bit out of place during one shoot.
He did, yeah. It was at the 2023 British Grand Prix. He was literally standing there on the actual starting grid with all the real F1 drivers for the national anthem. And he joked later that he felt like a, quote, horse's ass because it wasn't staged for the film cameras. Real fans saw him there, live, totally unplanned as part of the official pre-race ceremony. It just shows how deep they embedded the movie world into the actual F1 calendar.
That's brilliant. The lines must have been so blurred, confusing maybe for everyone involved. But talking about real life mixing with the film, was the actual plot, the story itself, inspired by anything real?
Yeah.
Or just pure fiction?
No, it actually draws from a really powerful real-life comeback story. The narrative has roots in the journey of Martin Donnelly, an Irish driver. Donnelly survived this absolutely horrific crash back in 1990, 176 miles per hour. Nearly killed him, definitely ended his F1 career right there. But he survived, showed incredible resilience, and he actually consulted on the film, so he brought that layer of raw, real-world experience about the risks, the stakes, the fight back, adds real weight to the story.
Wow, that adds another layer entirely. And the tech they used to capture all this action, that was pretty groundbreaking too, wasn't it? They even launched the first ever haptic trailer. What does it even mean for someone watching?
Yeah, the haptics. Pretty cool. It means if you had the right iPhone and iOS version, you could actually feel the engine vibrations, the gear shifts, right through your phone while watching the trailer. Just another way to pull you into the experience. But beyond that, yeah, the camera tech was state-of-the-art. They used iPhone 15 Pro class sensors, mainly for their small size and great low-light performance, and paired them with custom Sony Rialto camera rigs. These aren't everyday cameras. They're compact, high performance, built to handle extreme G-forces. They essentially turned the race cars themselves into these, high-speed camera robots, allowed them to get shots, angles, perspectives in racing we've just never really seen captured quite like that before.
So it wasn't just F1 they were capturing then. They looked at other racing too.
Exactly. They didn't limit themselves.
Wow.
To give this sort of broad picture of top-tier motorsport, they also filmed at major endurance races. Think like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Le Mans, Road America, using brilliant Porsche 911 GT3R cars for those sequences. It just shows the wider world of racing, the different challenges, makes the film's world feel even richer, more complete.
And it's an incredible story behind the story, isn't it? This blend of Hollywood ambition and hardcore reality. It really does feel like the facts of how this movie got made are almost stranger, definitely more innovative than the fiction itself.
Absolutely. And it leaves you thinking, doesn't it? As filmmaking gets this immersive, this technologically advanced, blurring the lines so effectively, what does that do to our perception of truth versus fiction, especially when we experience things like sports or other real-world events through this kind of entertainment lens? What new doors does this open for storytelling when reality itself becomes part of the set? Makes you wonder what's next.